Now, becoming a new parent is a very exciting time, but it also can be very, very daunting because along with adapting to a load of new routines of order, and then you might have a few panicky moments with your child as well.
Moments, yeah.
So here we have Paula today, right? And she's going to calm us all down because you have all the answers, of course, Paula.
I'll try my best.
We're going to start with a fever, of course. This is the first kind of big shock we all get as a parent, I feel. The baby's getting very, very hot.
Especially when they're small, I think.
Yeah,
like,
what do you do?
Yeah, and it's very common. Like at some stage, your baby is definitely going to get a high temperature or a fever. What I would say is a high temperature is, anything over 37.5 degrees. But depending on what age the child is or the baby is, will depend on what action you actually need to take.
Okay, so for example, if you have a 6-month-old or a 3-month-old, so they're very, very young, that you can't do much. You know what I mean? That they can't tell you anything.
Yeah.
What time should you start worrying at what stage of the temperature?
So, well, the key thing is to start monitoring it early. So making sure that you are checking their temperature and monitoring it early. Between 0 and 3 months is the most risky. So anything over 37.5 in that age group, I would seek medical advice.
Okay.
If they're over the 3 to 6 month and onwards, anything over 38 degrees can be a fever, is classified as a fever. I would observe them, watch them, see how they are. If you're finding that they could be vomiting persistently, or if they are, really tired and you're not able to wake them up and they're completely out of sorts, they're not eating, then I would be concerned and seek medical advice.
But the first thing would probably be to give something to bring the fever down over the counter. And there are a lot, like we have the Calpol and Nurofen we see here, and they're the basics: paracetamol and ibuprofen.
Exactly. Now they're obviously only suitable from over 2 months for the Nurofen, over 3 months for the paracetamol, and over 3 months for the Nurofen. So yeah, absolutely try that. It's not going to reduce the temperature immediately, so don't expect it to within 10 minutes the temperature to drop. So just make sure you are monitoring it regularly after giving a dose.
There are different flavours as well, which is very important, Paul, isn't there?
Yeah, this is a good. I have this one now, and I have to say, I mean, there are a lot of different brands of this one, but they're great because they're the ear thermometer. So you just basically put it in the ear, press the little button, and
very
it beeps.
easy to use.
Yeah. So, and it'll tell you straight away. It'll come up here. For anyone.
Well, we had one of them now, and you know what? We're getting so many different readings from them.
Really?
And we went back to the old style one.
Did you?
The old
in the
style.
mouth?
Yeah.
I think a lot of kids won't let you put it into their mouth, but yours would, from I wouldn't.
But you can put it under their
There's
arm as well.
underarm ones that you can get. There's another one there they have is a contactless one where you move it over the phone.
You had that before, didn't you?
Yeah, there are a variety of different ones. And like that, you said, Dahi, some children, might let you put it near the ear, so it'll depend.
But on that, because I think it's very important with people watching if they are a bit nervous, I think you should take the temperature more than once. Like if you do one ear, do the other ear. What do you think, Paula?
Yeah, I would agree.
Because often they might wriggle or you don't have the thing in enough, or even the contactless one, Dahi.
Because with that, exactly, if it's not in far enough, then it might not give an accurate reading.
Nobody tells you about.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the fever. So moving on from the fever then.
Colic.
Yeah, which I think most people see at the beginning, especially when they have small children.
And again, for parents, it's very, very frustrating.
Scary, I think.
Very, very frustrating and scary.
Extremely distressing, definitely. And I think a lot, like all children are going to cry, but I suppose what is colic? It's when they're excessively crying.
It's wind, really, isn't it?
It is. They don't know exactly what causes it, but essentially it is wind that's trapped. The child is very upset. They might be pulling their legs up to their tummy, and generally have more so their distress in the evening time. Colic is classified generally if they're crying for more than 3 hours, more than 3 days a week, for more than 3 weeks, and that is essentially what colic is.
And on a non-medical note, as a parent, it will stop sometime. It will eventually stop, because when you're in the middle of it, you feel it's never going to stop.
But even 3 hours, I can't imagine even a child crying. Like I would be stressed if they were crying for more than 20 minutes consistently. The type of way.
It's more distressing on the parent than it is on the baby themselves.
Really, is it?
Now, you're right, they will grow out of it, as Dahi said.
You've got Infocol here. That's one of the drops you can, types of drops you can use.
So that is just one, option, I suppose, if you find that your child is suffering from colic. So that can be given. It's one dropper full that you'll be given before each feed. And that'll just help, as I said, relieve those symptoms.
And they don't use gripe water anymore.
There is a new gripe water out,
isn't there?
Is it a non-alcoholic one?
It's alcohol-free. There is a gripe water you can get in pharmacies now.
Unlike the stuff that we got when we were
Totally. Very different times now.
And then
so
just looking at the teats, and there's other options too, like looking at the teats you're using, making sure you're using one that's the proper size, less air that's getting in when they're feeding.
That is so important, because I remember that actually, that I wasn't.
The bottles were different.
Yeah, it was just the teat was, when he was on the bottle thing, and the teat wasn't big enough, and he couldn't get the milk.
Yeah, so it's about exploring all options.
That's a very good point. And again, that's, you often don't know that. You can't read
trial and error. Trial and error.
Really.
Moving on to constipation. This can be again very, very painful for the child. Very discomforting as well. Yeah, and what I will say is every child is different. So I mean, some babies might not pass stools, every day. It could be every second day, and every baby is different. So it's about knowing what is the routine for your baby. But if they are, really hard stools, then you may be concerned. But again, there are options.
depending on the age of the child and what you can give them.
Yeah. Now we're going to just talk about teething, of course, they all go through that as well, but those tea that we have there, the granules and the gel, that's a homeopathic remedy, isn't it? I think that's quite effective, actually.
Yeah, people find them great, We'd have a lot of people coming in looking for them and find them very beneficial. It is a homeopathic remedy, as you said.
Tell us about the Parenting Club in Boots.
Yeah, so the Parenting Club is for anyone who has a child under the age of 3. You can sign up, if you sign up for the Boots Advantage card, you can also sign up for the Parenting Club, and you get 10 points essentially for every euro you spend. Good. And at different milestones of the child's lifespan, you'll also get gifts at different times. So it is really good. You can build up the points and redeem them then on products in store. So definitely worth asking when you're in our Boots stores.
And you're dealing with people who are in the same boat as you, really. Yeah. And you've so much in common. And like we were chatting about just some of the problems here. Every parent has
we all go through it,
We all go through them.
But it's really important, I think, to talk to your pharmacist as well. Someone like Paula. I have a great pharmacist, Ray Kelly in Dungarvan. He's sick of looking at me, but I mean, seriously, I just felt he's helped me so much. You know,
we see people coming in all the time with these queries. So sometimes it's just a matter of putting someone's mind at ease. And there can be some little tips that can make a difference.
Yeah, because there's certainly lots of stuff doing the rounds these days.
Everyone's
Everybody seems to be sick, young and old.
Yeah, it is. It seems to be there's a lot of viruses going around and a lot of different illnesses that people are coming in with. Definitely.
Much you can do, I suppose.
Paula, thank you.
Thanks, Paula. That's great. More information, as we said there, and anything we discuss, you can head onto Boots, over to boots.ie, and all the information about the Parenting Club is there as well.
Constipation. I was never as happy to see poop in my life inside a nappy. 3 days. We were waiting 3. Well, not me, the child, of course.
I was like, thank you for sharing
that
with us there today.
Yes, an adult nappy. No, but I hadn't pooped in about 4 days. And oh my God,
terrible.
and you say, oh my God, it's poop, and you're celebrating. You're actually, thank you, God.